What's up, guys? Fantasy Joe back here with some more fantasy football content. Today, I'm making the case for Kyle Pitts as the number one pick in your rookie drafts. Kyle Pitts is an amazing player. Going to be breaking down his college production, his pro day numbers, and his pro comparison later in this video, and discussing why I think that he should be the number one overall pick in your rookie drafts. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button on this video, hit that subscribe button down below to stick around for more videos, and please leave a comment in the comments down below, and I will respond as always. Let's hop right into this video, making the case for Kyle Pitts as the number one pick in your rookie drafts. Kyle Pitts measurables. He weighed in at 6'5", 5/8 of an inch, 245 pounds. Good hand size, arm size. Wingspan is notable. He is the largest wingspan of any tight end or wide receiver in NFL history. Calvin Johnson's wingspan was only 82 inches. He's at 83 and 3/8. Athletically, that's one of the comparisons that Kyle Pitts has been given is Calvin Johnson, so that's a thing to note. His 40-yard dash, he ran 4.44 seconds. That was his unofficial time in his pro day, but that time was faster than Darren Waller, pretty much every tight end that's in the league currently. So it's a very impressive time. His vertical jump is TBD. His broad jump is 10 feet 9 inches, which is very explosive for a player of his height. So he's a very explosive and tall player for sure, as evident by his measurables. One of the most tall, explosive tight ends we've ever seen in the NFL draft process, honestly. We have never seen really a player like this that has the type of production and athleticism that he possesses coming out of the college level at this point in his career. So let's move on to Kyle Pitts' production. In 2019, in 13 games, he caught 54 passes, good for 649 yards and 5 touchdowns. And then in 2020, he only played 8 games, but he was able to haul in 43 receptions, good for 770 yards, 12 touchdowns, but all that was in the SEC, competing against the best competition in college football. And he did that in only 8 games in 2020. That's a pretty miraculous stat line, especially for a tight end at the college level. He averaged 17.91 yards per reception in 2020, which is pretty miraculous, again, for a tight end or any player in college football, which just shows just how explosive of a player he is. Now, the reason that I think Kyle Pitts should be the number one overall pick in your rookie drafts is because of what we've seen guys like Travis Kelce do recently and what Rob Gronkowski used to do in fantasy. Travis Kelce's been the number one overall tight end for, I think, 5 straight seasons at least. If you can draft Kyle Pitts, the best tight end prospect we've probably ever seen in the NFL draft process, you could potentially be snagging a player like the likes of that Travis Kelce or Rob Gronkowski that's going to be able to be the number one tight end potentially for years at a time. Travis Kelce had a great year this year, has been, like I said, the number one tight end for 5+ years. Eventually, that throne is going to be taken from him, probably in the next 2 to 3 years. I think Kyle Pitts is the type of player that can do that and be the perennial next top scoring tight end for years to come. And that's the reason that you should be drafting him with the number one pick in your rookie drafts. Let's just look at Travis Kelce last year, how many more points he was scoring. So Kelce scored 35.2 more points in second place, which is a lot, and he played 1 less game than second place, the second place player. He scored 109.7 points more than the third rated tight end last year. If you put that on a per game basis, he scored 3.3 points more than second place, which is a lot on a weekly basis with positional advantage, and that's over second place. And he scored 8 more points per game than the third rated tight end, and 9.5 points more than the 12th ranked tight end. So imagine if you have a Kyle Pitts or a Travis Kelce type player, Rob Gronkowski, in your tight end spot every week, you're going to be scoring a considerable amount more than the other team's tight end is any given week. And there's going to be weeks where they don't do anything, and you have a Kyle Pitts or Travis Kelce that goes out there and goes for 80 yards and 2 touchdowns and just absolutely dominates, and that's how you win football games. And that's especially why I think in a rookie draft, you should be taking him at the 101. If Kyle Pitts hits, he's going to be the biggest positional advantage in fantasy football. And he could be, especially in a dynasty draft, you could have him lock him down for years to come. Kyle Pitts is an excellent player. If he lands in the right spot, he could potentially go to Atlanta with Matt Ryan, I think year one he'd be ready to contribute in that offense in a major way. You've got Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley to take eyes off of him. But wherever Kyle Pitts goes, I think he's going to be a top 10 pick. And I think he's going to dominate for fantasy football. That's why I would take him with the number one pick. Obviously, you have to see, the landing spots. But I just think you take a Kyle Pitts. If it doesn't work out, you're probably with the number one rookie pick next year. You can snag that wide receiver, that running back that you really like next year. Because there's not going to be another Kyle Pitts next year. There is no Kyle Pitts coming around the corner. You never really know coming out of the draft who is going to be the tight end that produces the most. It's very difficult to tell usually. Travis Kelce was a second-round pick. Rob Gronkowski was a second-round pick. These are guys you didn't know at the time were going to be as good as they were. You weren't drafting them maybe in the first round even of your dynasty mocks. But you know that Kyle Pitts has a chance to be an elite tight end, a difference maker at the position, a number one finisher at tight end. He has that type of production in his outcomes for sure. And very rarely are you going to be able to draft a player like that. Darren Waller's pro comparison for me is Darren Waller. They have very similar height and athleticism markings. Think that they're pretty similar players. We saw how good Darren Waller was last year. Darren Waller hasn't really caught a ton of touchdowns in his career. It's more of a reception guy. I see Kyle Pitts a little bit as the opposite. I see him more as a touchdown, long reception guy, which I think is going to be even more valuable for fantasy at the tight end position. A little bit less consistent week to week than a Darren Waller maybe, but I think he's going to, 2 to 3 years from now, I think he will be finishing this season as number one tight end in fantasy football, and I think he'll be, catching double-digit touchdowns most years. He has excellent hands, which it sounds dumb, but you don't always see that with NFL tight end prospects. He really does snatch the ball out of the air. He's got great hands in traffic. He wants to go get that ball. He's not afraid to, he's not a body catcher. And when you're as big as he is, 6'6", and you've got that wingspan, you reach out and you snatch the ball, attack the ball in the air the way that Kyle Pitts does, he's going to produce in the NFL for a long time, and that's why I think he should be the number one pick in your rookie drafts. Okay, if you made it to this point in the video, please hit that like button. That video helps us out a lot. Hit that subscribe button down below to stick around for the rest of the series and all of our other Dynasty redraft and mock drafts are coming your way. And leave all your questions and comments in the comment section down below, and I'll respond as always. Until next time, this is Fantasy Joe. Have a good one. Peace out.